What is going on, everybody? Kidus here, and I am back here again with another Blender tutorial. So I know I haven't posted a tutorial in a while now, and that is mainly because the last post that I did, the cannon, which you can find somewhere around here or going to my channel's page, was actually meant to be a tutorial video on how to make the cannon, but I accidentally, well, not accidentally, well, I didn't plug in my mic, so everything that was going on, I recorded the video for about an hour, and then I just realized that the mic wasn't plugged in, so I had to turn it into a time-lapse video or scrap the whole thing, which I didn't want to do. Anyways, so that's why I'm bringing you a new tutorial, and because I found out there's a really nifty trick in Blender to create really cool effects, and I wanted to share that with you. Anyways, so for today, we're going to be creating something pretty cool. I want to, before we start, I wanted to give thanks to all of my subscribers. 69 subscribers is a big thing, without a doubt, and I want to keep having more subscribers, if that's a good thing, but you know, I wanted to thank the people who keep watching my videos and, you know, keep liking, which will help me out the most. And, you know, sometimes it's nice to hear your voices too. You guys don't comment a lot, which I want you to, because I like CNC, and, you know, Blender, you do better when people comment and critique your work, so I like that more and more. Also, I wanted to add that I have a Facebook page, so if you want to get things faster, because I post a lot of stuff on my Facebook page, and the first of things that I post is on my Facebook page before I post it in anywhere on YouTube. And sometimes I do works that I don't post on YouTube, which take a lot of time, so I just post them on Facebook to showcase them. And also I use this Blender group on Facebook, which is pretty big, so you might want to join that if you're new, or if you are an experienced artist that wants to post stuff online. Anyways, so enough of the gratuities, and let's start with the actual tutorial. Okay, so today I am going to make a cabin in the woods, inspired by the movie Cabin in the Woods. Well, it's not going to look like that one. It's going to be a much more refined one. Well, not refined one, a very different one. And also, if you haven't had the chance to watch that movie, you should, because it came out in 2012. It's like 4 years from now, but it was a pretty good movie. It actually surprised me. Alright, so for the first thing for the cabin, we are going to make a cylinder. So press Shift A. Oh, and I've also installed screencast keys so you guys can see what I'm doing clearly. Let me drink some water here. My throat is a little clogged up. Alright, so now that I have inserted my my cylinder, this is gonna be like the logs that hold the cabin together. So I'm gonna make this 8-sided. Or should I just make it 6 to roughen out the edges? Yeah, 6 would be good for now. And I'm just gonna scale it down. As you can see here, you can see all the things that I'm pressing, so nothing is new to you. And I'm gonna make sure I'm going to select cycles. Alright, so now that we have this, I'm going to shift select the scale. So now we have both the direction and the scale. You don't have to do this, I just like working like this in case I have the urge to pull it up or down like that. So I'm going to scale it down a little bit, and I'm going to press scale Z, and I'm going to elongate it towards the Z axis. So these are going to be the logs that are basically supposed to act like support columns for the cabin, and I am going to rotate them on the 90 degrees on the x-axis. After you do that, I am going to rotate them rotate Y 45, and dot. Or no, I'm just gonna go to orthographic view, and I'm gonna go to the front, and I'm going to rotate them on the y-axis until I see a flat surface on the top. So this should be flat, which is, I think this would be good. Yep. Alright, so now that we have our support column, our house is going to be a rectangle basically. So oops, what did I do? Control G. Go back. Alright, so this is gonna be a cabin, and this cabin is pretty much gonna look like a regular cabin, except this column is gonna act like a the front part of the cabin, and it's gonna be a square cabin, obviously, like most of them are, in which this is going to be where the door and the windows are, and I'm gonna make a front porch here. So and I'm gonna add more of the environments. So for now, I'm just gonna make the front part of the cabin. So I'm gonna scale it on the y-axis, and I think this would be good enough distance because cabins aren't that big. And then I am going to add an array modifier. So make sure that you go to the modifiers tab and select array right here. And oops, no, this is not what I want. Excuse me. And then make sure there's like enough space in between the logs so that you can fit in another log right there. So I'm just gonna move it down a little bit and move this down. So I think this would be enough of a distance. So the middle is going to be the part where another log is going to fit. So once you have the relative constraint options selected, what you want to do is add more logs. Press the count options to add more front logs. And then what you want to do is duplicate everything, move it down, and then to the side a little bit. There's like a small gap over here. So to make sure that everything is lined up correctly, like it's attached to each other, and make sure you also have this differential over here. Make it a little bit bigger. Alright. Okay, and maybe just increase the differential of the logs. I'm gonna go to wireframe mode so I can see better, and back to the right view. Delete this, duplicate, move down, front view, position everything right, and move it to the side. And now voila, we have a cabin wall. Well, one of the cabin walls anyhow. So once you have that, all the things that you want to do is just apply the modifier. Apply both of them, and you're going to select both of them by pressing shift and right clicking, and then pressing Control G to group them together. So now we have a cabin wall. So this is going to act as the front part of our cabin wall, and the next thing that you want to do is rotate everything towards the x-axis. Oops, rotate the 90 degrees. So this can actually be the front of our cabin. And maybe just scale it up a little bit. And then I am just going to position this at the center, so it's easier to understand. And then I'm going to press Control Shift Alt C, and I'm going to select Origin to Geometry, so that it moves the origin to geometry basically. And then I am going to duplicate everything, move them up, rotate Z 90 degrees, to the right, and then move it right here. Go to the front view, and then position the logs just right so that they don't overstep their boundaries. Oops, what is going on? Oh, I meant to press Control J, not. Alright, my bad. So if to group the items together is not Control G, it's Control J. I just grouped them together. Anyways, so once you have joined them together, let's go back to the right view. We're making the side of our little cabin here. So you're gonna want to put it out like this. And also, so this is going to be a side of our triangle. We don't want it to be a square, so we're just going to select all these outer edges, and then pull them to the side. So it's actually longer than the front part of our cabin. Maybe a little bit shorter. There we go. And then what you need to do next is just duplicate it and then move it to the other side, or you could mirror it, whatever strikes your fancy. I am just going to duplicate it and then do pretty much the same thing over here. Okay, and then just move this up to the right here. And then I'm just going to delete the top one over here because it seems to be causing a little bit more problems. I'll select everything here and delete the vertices. Alright, awesome. So, and I'm also going to add a bottom bottom log here. And then move it to the side a little bit. Let's see how it's lining up. There we go. So good, perfect. So now it's lining up perfectly, as this is gonna act like the walls of our beautiful little cabin that we're making. Alright, so the next thing that you want to do is duplicate the front part of this wall and then put it at the back. Okay. So now we're close our little square. Our little rectangle, and it looks like it's some kind of a pen for, I don't know, chickens, or a drawer, or some kind of a windowsill, or whatever your imagination takes you. That's what it is. So either way, what do we have here? Alright, so we have a little bit of an issue here, which we can solve easily by moving this up or moving it down. So I prefer to move it up. Go to right view, move it up a little bit, and cool, we solved that issue. Alright, so the next thing that we want to do is work on, I don't think moving it up was a good idea. Maybe I should just move it down. What's going on in the front? Okay, maybe I should just rotate it 180 degrees, then move it to the side, move it up, and perfect. Alright, so solve that problem. It's just needed to do a direct mirror instead of a duplicate. Anyway, so we have our size of our cabin ready. You can join it if you want, which is what I'm going to be doing, and then making sure that scale it up, and making sure that there we go. No, that's fine. Alright, so now we have the front part of our cabin. Now that what we need to do is actually make it look like a house instead of a square box or a pen or a prison, whatever you want to call it. So to make the the roof part, we're gonna need a roof support. So that's gonna be like a triangle, surface where it's going to be columns upon columns of vertical columns, not horizontal columns. So and it's gonna come up to like a it's gonna look like a pyramid, so that the roof, the thatch support is gonna go on that, and most of the weight of the house is gonna be on. So if you've seen any form of cabins or houses, you know immediately. In fact, let me show you. Let me just do a quick Google search for cabin, and I'm just gonna put that reference image right here so we can see that what we're doing. Alright, so pretty much what I'm talking about is this part. So this, I'm going to be making this part of the house, the triangle thing where the roof is going to rest on. There's a lot of beautiful modern ass cabins here, which I'm trying to stay away from because I don't want it to look modern, but more of like an old timey cabin like this, or maybe a blend of them too. Anyway, so yeah, let's get on to making that. So let's see, which image should I use for a reference? This is a cool looking house, unique. Yeah, I think this is from a game. Yeah, this is from Skyrim. This is interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the reference image that I saw earlier, this one. I'm going to go to view images, save image, and I'm going to use this as a reference so that you guys also get a better understanding of what I'm doing. So new, not new, open desktop and upload the image. Perfect. So now we have a nice looking cabin as our reference image right here. Damn, this looks oversaturated. But it's actually a high res image. Either way, it's right here for you guys to look at. Okay, so now that we have our little front cabin here, I'm gonna pretty much do the same thing for the roof. So for the tiling, this is gonna be a pyramid structure, but for now I am just going to scale it down, move it to where I think the tiling is gonna start, like right around here. Go up, down, position it correctly, because positioning is important, and there we go. And then I'm just gonna scale it up till it's about till its maximum point. So I want the maximum point to be around here. So the maximum point is where the roof support column, or whatever you call these, hits the highest point of the surface. So this distance, pretty much this distance from here up to here. So once you get to the maximum point, I'm going to apply an array modifier, and I'm just gonna increase the relative offset just a bit. You know what? No, let's just use constraint and increase it just a little bit so that you can barely see through it, but there's still some slight entrance point. Maybe this is a little bit too much, just a little bit down, right around here. Yeah, I think that's good. And then I am just going to increase the count number until we reach the other side, so pretty much until here. So yeah, so this ended up perfectly well, and we have our perfect little roof tile. So don't worry, this is not going to be a flat thing. Just going to apply the modifier, and then we're going to go to the fun part, which is cutting this thing in half. So so what I should have done before I applied the array modifier, go back, is subdivide these so we can give our boolean modifier something to work up with. So okay, so once we have that subdivided, we're just gonna press OK, and then I'm going to add a plane, and I'm gonna make sure, oh, not a plane, I'm going to add a cube, and then I'm going to make sure that it has some thickness to it. So we're going to pretty much use our cube to slice up our roof support columns or whatever. And I am going to make sure that it slices it up very well. So I'm going to give it a make sure that it's kind of thick. Then I'm going to rotate it in the Y axis and rotate, constrain it to the Y, -45. And so if you were to think of this as a butter knife, which is pretty much what it is, I'm going to use the Boolean modifier to cut the heck out of the, rotate Y 45, rotate Y -45, and I'm just going to scale it up. So, and then I'm going to rotate Y rotate Y 45, and then I'm going to make sure that it comes through like that, and I'm going to rotate it again, move it here, scale it up, rotate Y, move it here, and I'm going to make sure that it's around past the center point. So it's not exactly on the center point, but it's past it. I'm going to duplicate everything, rotate Z 180, and I'm going to pretty much do the same thing on the other side. But you have to make sure that they are of similar distance on both sides. So I'm doing this all by eyesight. It might not be the exact value, but it's good enough for me. So remove it there, and then I'm going to Control J, join these two giant blobs of geometry. So now we have this, something that looks like a roof. But the problem is we have this extra geometry that's pretty much unnecessary for now. So what are we going to do to get rid of this? So like I said before, we're going to use the Boolean modifier to cut what we have like it's a butcher knife. So pretty much this is what's going to happen. So you're going to apply your Boolean modifier to your roof support columns, and then you're going to apply the Boolean modifier to the roof. And then you're just going to select the object as the roof, and then don't worry if things have disappeared, because you saw it's the default is on intersect, but it's not intersect that we want. What we want is the difference. And once you have that, you're going to apply that, and we are going to pretty much delete this roof. So now you can see that we have our desired triangular shape going on there, which is pretty sexy if I do so say myself. And then we are going to pretty much select these guys, who are regrettably unnecessary casualties of modeling, and we are going to delete the living hell out of them. So select everything by pressing C or any other method that you want, and delete the vertices. So now we have our roof support columns like this, and the next thing that we want to do is pretty much do the same thing to the other side. So duplicate, select your object, duplicate, and then move them to right here. So now we have them on both sides. So there we go. So we are progressing in our cabin building. Okay, so now that we're done with that, the next thing that we want to do is add a cube. So this cube is going to act like our roof panels. I don't know why I'm making it sound like it's some kind of what is that show? A kid show. Damn it, I forgot what that kid show was. But I'm not trying to sound like it's that. Anyway, so I'm just gonna rotate Y 45. Rotate Y -45. No, it's too much. Rotate Y. Leave it right around here. Move it down, and then go to 7. And maybe it should come up right around here. Duplicate 180 to the side, and right about here, move you a little bit closer, and there we go. So this is gonna be our roof. So since we're using tiling, we don't want these to be too big, so there's gonna be these are gonna act like planks of wood. And I'm going to do the same thing that I've done with the other columns, and I'm going to use an array modifier to make my job a lot easier. Nope, constraint. Move this down, move you down, 3, move you closer. There we go. So I wanted to make it look like there's some space in between, but not too much space. So I want to see this like little dent seam. Makes it look a little bit sexier in my opinion, but you can remove it if you don't like it. It's a free country after all. And if you're viewing this in a not so free country, then you can still do it because nobody's gonna come after you. Anyways, so once you get the seam distance that you want, I don't want it to be too big, since I don't want it to seem like water is gonna leak through, but I kind of want it this distance. So once you get that, the next thing that you want to do is the fun part, which is basically array the living shit out of it. So it kind of looks like this. Yay! So now we have our sexy looking house that we created in less than... Alright, I wasn't keeping track of time, so I don't know in less than what it was, but we have our house right here. So I'm gonna bring this roof a little bit forward. I'm gonna just add a few more counts to it, not that much. So the front part of the house can have a little bit more roofiness to it. And I'm gonna add support columns here, and so that it will look like if it's gonna rain, that it wouldn't land on the front porch. Maybe that's too much. Yeah, that's too much. Just decrease it back and move this forward. Back. There we go. Maybe back a little bit too. See, I'm indecisive when it comes to certain things, but you know, the more you try, the better you get at it. So I'm not gonna discourage anybody from doing anything. But either way, yeah, maybe this is enough. Yeah, this is enough for our little cabin, which is currently not so little. Anyways, oh, did I not apply? Oh, I did. Okay, so I'm gonna apply the array modifier to this. Okay, nice. And then I'm going to join this to the roof supports. So it's all one big mesh with 2068 vertices and 1000 faces. Okay, cool. So now that we have our roof, we have our roof support columns. My English wavers sometimes. Excuse me. Gotta drink this elixir. The drink of the gods. What was the term for the drink of the gods? Ambrosia? Yeah, it's ambrosia, right? It's ambrosia. I think it's ambrosia. Yeah. So I'm drinking this ambrosia here. Sadly, it's not alcohol. It's just it's water, and it's not bad calling water ambrosia because that's the thing that sustains life, and it's also very thirst quenching and satisfying. I don't know why I'm lobbying for water right now, but yeah, I'm drinking the ambrosia right now. Okay, so let's see, what can we do next? What can we do next? Okay, so now we basically have the shape of the house, but what we don't have is we don't have any windows, we don't have any doors, and also I would like to add this feature into my house, so it kind of looks like there's an attic over here, and it's not just like a one floor cabin. So, you know, in case for any, Romeo and Juliet shit going on. I wanted to leave some space for that. Anyways, okay, so let's make the door here. Damn, so it's, I don't know where you are watching this, but here in Maryland, it's fucking hot. It is crazy hot, and personally, I can handle the cold. I much prefer the cold, and since it's summer, it's like, it's not hot as in the sun, it's hot as in it's humid, so there's a lot of humidity going on. And right now my computer is working overtime for reasons unknown. Blender doesn't usually take that much energy out of it, but it's distributing the heat all over my room, so if any of you breathing awkward, it's because of that. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Also, it's 10 o'clock, so it's supposed to be cool by now, but it's not, apparently. Anyways, so now that we have our door, which is pretty much a basic cube, positioned right here. So I'm positioning it here, and I'm not adding any more details because I want to, get a basic reference of where I'm going to put what, where, and how big it's going to be. So this is going to be our door, basically. And then the next thing that I want to do is add a window right around here. So make sure that it's the same height as the door, otherwise it's going to look weird. Unless you have different, tastes in how your windows are. And I'm going to make it a little bit wider, like sort of like this. And then I'm going to move the door to the right a little bit and move our window closer a little bit like this. That's awesome. And then I'm going to add another attic window, except this one's going to be smaller and more rectangular shape, because attic windows are like that, or aren't they? I don't know, but I'm using this as a reference, so might as well make it a square rather than a rectangle, and it kind of looks good. Alright, so as a reference, this is what's going to be. We can get into more details later on, but for now, this is good. Alright, so apart from that, the next thing that I want to do is add the flooring. So what I'm going to do pretty much is add floor planks over here, and this attic is going to be suspended. I'm not sure, we'll worry about that later. Okay, for now, I'm just going to add the floor to cover the bottom part of the house up. So to do that, press Shift C and add a cube. Oh crap, I did not notice screencast keys was off. The hell? I didn't even press a button. Okay, Shift Alt C is a shortcut. I must have pressed it by accident. Never mind. I apologize for that. I'm going to turn that on again. And I am going to decrease this. And I'm going to position the newly created cube right where I need it to be, which is right around here. And I'm going to scale it up. Make sure that the edges of the newly made plank is equal to the edges of the house. It's not too big, not too small, it's just right, going along the side. And then I am going to be doing what I've done in this whole tutorial and use array modifier. Okay, so right now the array modifier has got to be one of my favorite modifiers of all time. So I'm going to be doing it on the y-axis. I'm going to use a differentiator as 1. Is 1 too much? 1.1. Nah, it's too much. I'd rather use a constraint so I can get manual control over this. And I'm pretty much going to do the same thing that I did with the roof, except with less spacing. Or should I make more spacing? Nah, less spacing, because you don't want shit to fall down through your plank floor. So I'm going to make it a little bit, which is right around here maybe. Yep. Alright, so I'm gonna make it a lot right around there, so you can kind of sort of see what's going on beneath, but you can't, you know, you don't have to worry about something falling through. So yeah, I think this is great. And then just dragging it down until you get to the very bottom, which is right here. So this looks weird. So at first I kind of decided to make it the plank the size of the roof, but upon further consideration I would like to change my mind and make it the pretty much the same size as the house. So yeah, so like that. Yes, this looks more natural and sexy and on fleek. People still say that. So I'm gonna make it pretty much this size. Alright, great. So now that we have that and our house, the next thing that we want to do is apply the modifier. So we got our sexy flank going on here. So we got our coulombs. So English is clearly not my first language, but I've been speaking it a long time, but I still make mistakes. It's crazy. So we got our coulombs here. We got our roof support coulombs. We got our roof. We got our flooring. We got our windows, doors, and we have pretty much designed our basically designed for our cabin right here, right now, all sexy and everything, in all this glory. So since we have everything here, whoops, no. I wonder what would happen if I, that's interesting. Yeah. Maybe I should move it a little bit. Yeah, I should move this coulombs giving me a little problem here, which I can solve by, oops, nope. Might as well do it like this. L. And move it to this. Fill it up. Put it here. And select these edges. And voila. Is this still showing problems? Yep, yes it is. Maybe just move it a little bit here. Out. What about now? Yeah, much better. Alright, so this is going to be our little unique coulombs. And probably not a lot of people will notice at first hand, but you know, it's going to be our special thing. Anyways, okay, so now we have made our floor plans and coulombs and whatnot. The next thing that I'm going to add to our little cabin is another another cylinder. So this cylinder, I'm just doing decorative functions right now. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I just find it a little bit more, it gives it a little bit more pizzazz. Is that what it's called? Pizzazz? Just makes it look more classy, in my opinion. Make sure to add a cylinder, but you know, give it more sides this time, so around 30 would be nice. And then drop it right here, right where you want it. Alright. Matthew McConaughey. Anyways, yeah, so once you get your little coulombs, so this is it's gonna act like a balcony support. So in case you want to rest something right here, you can do it. I'm gonna add a smooth modifier. Smooth. I'm gonna make it smooth and then add an edge split modifier. And then I'm going to apply an array modifier and move it up a little bit. Oh, nope. On the zebra. There we go. So everything beneath this point is going to be covered by floor. So this is going to be a floor. So just in case, I'm just going to scale this up and move it right here. So basically you can think of this plane as a flooring. I'm just gonna give it a material here so it kind of differentiates from the rest of the image. So go to materials, new, and voila. Okay, so this is going to be a floor, probably a field, but you know, it could be whatever you want it to be. So for now, I'm just gonna make it a floor, and I'm just going to apply, where was I? An array modifier, more array modifiers on the same constraint, except maybe down a little bit, and maybe just bring this down, and no, yeah, and then just increase the count, just keep increasing the count until you reach maybe right about here. Maybe just keep increasing this. Nope. Should I increase the spacing between? No, just leave it there. And then I'm just gonna press apply. Okay, awesome. And then I am going to stretch it and move it down right around here. So maybe not too much like this, maybe just like this could be a little up, and we can just, you know, drag a few of these guys and move them down a little bit, or maybe just, you know, stretch up these guys. Since they're going to be under the floor, they're going to end up being covered to right about here, and make sure it's below the mirror. Forgot about the mirror thing. Or maybe I could just do this, rotate 180, and then oops, move it to here. Maybe shrink them up a little bit. Yeah, I think this is good. What the heck is going on? Oh shit, my bad. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna scrap this idea for now. I'll come back to it later, since I'm going to have to do the door and the windows, and I don't want this to be a super long tutorial. So, okay, so for the doors, I'm gonna pretty much make it a, I'm gonna press I to indent, and then I am going to press E to extrude, and I'm gonna do that. Cool. So now we have our little indent, and oops, nope. Select these edges, Control B, select all of them first. Bottoms aren't, okay, the bottom ones aren't seen as much. I'm just gonna bevel this and extrude these a little bit, just to add a little bit more detail and make it look like there's a door latch over there. And pretty much for the window, I'm going to be doing pretty much the same thing. Extrude, and then, indent, then extrude on the inside. I'm going to add an edge loop over here, and I'm going to bevel that edge loop, and then I'm going to oops, okay, never mind, I'm gonna leave this for now, and then I'm gonna pretty much be doing the same thing to the top window. So indent and extrude. Cool. So this is definitely an indented and extruded part of the tutorial, but this does not look like a window, so we're just gonna add a little bit of a windowsill effect type of thing. So for the windowsill, I'm just gonna move here so it's not distracting. Everything that's going on isn't distracting. I'm gonna select this layer, and then I'm going to add a cube. So all this tutorial mostly focuses on the array and boolean modifier. And then I usually use cubes and spheres to do most of the work. So yeah, so I'm gonna be making the window cover here, so a window bracket thing that's going on. So once you have that, I'm just gonna apply an array modifier 0 y1, and then I'm just gonna repeat that over and over again, and maybe 1.1, yeah, okay. Or maybe I can use this as my door, so yeah, I can do both with this. So this is basically going to go on our window. So I'm going to rotate this, Y 90, rotate Z 90, rotate Z 180. Since I'm a righty, I have to have it on my right. Move it here and make sure that it sort of fits right in our window, so as a cupboard. Cupboard, there's cereals in my cupboard. Can't get that song out of my head because I saw it today. It's the R. Kelly parody by Key and Peele. It's a pretty funny one. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a pretty oldie thing. If you don't know who R. Kelly is, you're probably not gonna get it. And if you don't know his songs, then you're probably not gonna get it either. It's been a while. It's the Saturday Night Life sketch they did, joking on R. Kelly. Yeah, that is pretty old, but yeah. Check it if you get the chance. Anyways, so once you've done this, let's see. Nope. So this is why I wanted to extrude it. I'm just gonna extrude this one out like that, so I know where the windowsill stops. And then I'm going to select this, extrude it to the side until it reaches pretty much this point. So scale X until it reaches this point, and then stop. And then maybe apply material. I'm gonna name this test material. And then I'm going to go to the modifiers tab, and I should make this more thick. I think I should do that. Yeah, decrease the count to like what, 20? Yeah, that's be enough. And then scale it to the side like so. Perfect. So now it actually looks like a windowsill. And then I'm going to apply the modifiers, duplicate it, move it 180 degrees, and let it onto this side. And then once we have it on this side, I'm going to do something drastic, and I'm just going to lock it on the x-axis, oops, on the z-axis, and then open it up a little bit like this. So it's kind of like, you know, a dawn feel where they're woken up from their sleep and they want some air to get through their windowsill. So they open up the cupboard. It's not a cupboard. A cupboard is where you put food. What is this thing called? A window blind? But it's made out of wood. Huh. I don't know, whatever it's called. So they're opening up their window seal. I don't know what the fuck it's called, man. I have to Google this shit, but you know. Anyways, they're just letting air out and light in. So yeah, that's the feel that I want to grab with this. And also, the next thing that I want to do is pretty much add a door. So for the door, pretty much going to do the same thing, which is go here, add another cube. Yeah, you can say I'm in love with cubes. Alright, I was thinking of a terrible joke, but you know, it just won't come to me for some reason right now. But it involves cubes and using them a lot, and it's very sexual, so I don't want to say it right now. Either way, okay, so these planks are going to be right here. So imagine them as door planks. Tiny little door planks that you're going to use, as the British might say. We're going to use our tiny little gold planks, and we are going to add them to our cabin. in the middle of the woods to build our little house here. Damn it, I gotta keep on practicing with that British accent. Because I love accents. Accents are pretty awesome. So I'm gonna be doing the same thing right now, and I'm just going to be adding a relative offset. Oh no, relative is too much. Constraint, and then I am going to leave a tiny gap, and then add a fixed count like this, and then voila. So we have our door here, our window cupboard here, and we have our test material here. Material. So we're almost finishing up the base model and adding a little bit more detail. So we're almost getting things to look like they should. So the next thing that we're going to do is work on the attic. Attic, the top of the house, where you keep most of your unused crap. Or, you know, if you're pretty creative, or you want to be all Romeo and Juliet-esque, where you keep your room to look upon the stars and gaze upon your future. So I'm a huge, personally I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, and, you know, I've heard, you know, it's a good show. It's a really good show. Okay, it's beyond really good. It's a very amazing show. I'm not trying to be all fangirly, but so I'm a history buff, and I like anything history-wise. And alright, let me just briefly explain what I'm doing right now. So what I'm doing right now is trying to create this windowsill. So this cross here, you see. So to create the effect that you know, there's a barricade over here. So that's what I'm trying to do. Anyway, so let me go back to talking about Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones is a pretty awesome show, you know. I love George R.R. Martin's twist on, he uses actual history as reference. Well, not as reference per se, but, you know, there's civilizations in his story that pretty much look like civilizations that exist in our time. So, for example, with the pyramids thing in Marine, or obviously Westeros is pretty much medieval Europe, with the knights and the castles and the crazy ass incest. I'm just kidding about the incest thing, but, you know, with like most of the things, the cultures, the people, their fucking class divide with the royalty and shit. And even he even admitted himself. I saw this interview. He's a pretty swell dude. Pretty creative, I also say. I also say. Okay, so there's something wrong here. Oh, I forgot to duplicate it. Okay, so that's wrong. Okay, so once you have this the windowsill, the cross thing here, I'm gonna duplicate it, rotate it to the Y 90, rotate it to the Z 90, and then put it back in here so it's not clearly visible, but you can also see sometimes effects. So like this would be good, I think. Yeah, this is good. And then move it back. Okay, so now we have our attic overlook. I'm just gonna join these two, give them a test render, a test material, so we can kind of discern them from the rest of the things that's going on. Alright, so this is awesome. So we have our attic, we have our cottage, cabin, and we have our door sill, we have our windows. Maybe add just a little bit more detail here. So maybe add a little bit a doorknob. A doorknob? Yeah, I should add a doorknob, and then maybe something that goes across the door, like a wooden frame or something like that. Alright, so yeah, let's make a doorknob. Okay, so let's go to my accessories layer, Alright, so our door's right here, so it's gonna be a lot easier for us. Alright, so I'm gonna make a doorknob now. Alright, so what was I talking about? I was talking about George R.R. Martin, right? And his influence on history. So he is a pretty swell dude. He is very creative, and he's been a writer for a lot of TV shows. So you can get you understand his influence. He's written a lot of novels and shit, and yeah, you can tell what influenced him to write Game of Thrones. And it's not just that; it's the fact that he innovated that field because, well, he didn't innovate it. He pretty much uses actual historical events and twists it into his story, per se. Decrease that. Yeah. Yeah, this would be better. Sorry about that. It's hard. I don't know how some YouTubers just can talk while doing something like that. I gained more appreciation for them now. See what they say about, not judging someone before you actually see what they go through is true. Oops, what am I doing with the bevel weight? Me increase. There we go. Solved our problem here. So now our doorknob looks polished and ready to get plowed onto the door, as old English people would say it. Or they probably won't say this at all. I apologize if any English people are here. I love your culture, I love your history. I really want to go to England someday and just like look at the statues and the castles and the crazy ass parties you people throw, because you guys are crazy, from reality TV shows that we see here. Also, I'd like to have a proper English tea, or since a lot of English people think that an American excuse for tea is just ridiculous. But we make great coffee here. Anyways, so what was I talking about? George R.R. Martin and his influence on history. Okay, so George R.R. Martin is a very, 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 very creative writer, and he uses historical facts and blurs them into his book. And the fact that he uses, I think the best part about Game of Thrones is it's basically unpredictability. So if you watch a lot of TV shows, I'm pretty sure you can guess the outcome of what's going to happen right before it happens. So that happens to me a lot, and that takes away the surprise of the whole show. What's the point of watching a show if you pretty much know what's going to happen? So this is very unpredictable in the fact that, well, Game of Thrones is unpredictable in the fact that you've probably heard this before if you haven't seen Game of Thrones. He just kills off main characters, and not just supporting characters. People who you follow for seasons on end just end up dead in the most horrific ways, which I think people enjoy. Not the violence, but the fact that it's real gritty and realistic. Because in the real world, anyone can go any second, any moment. There's no thing protecting you. Being a main character doesn't protect you in the real world. I don't know how that's supposed to come off, but that's the truth. And the fact that he uses that is pretty awesome, I think, personally. Although I'm sad to see some of my favorite characters, like Ned Stark, go. And oops, shit, I probably spoiled that for people who haven't started the series. My bad, spoiler alert, But if you haven't seen Game of Thrones by now, you deserve it, because we're 6 seasons in. Anyway, so yeah, so stuff like that, it's just interesting. The Walking Dead used to do the same shit with its unpredictability radar, but they became pussies since they diverted from the comic in a lot of things. But yeah, so unpredictability is a huge plus. Also, the story, goddamn, it is crazy good. You know, it pretty much has everything, and I think a lot of authors are afraid to do that because they don't want to, seem too crazy and ridiculous and off the charts. But he did it and it worked, and he somehow made it work in the plot line. And he used Tolkien's system, in which he adds a lot of life to his world. So there's history behind every crevice, every rock, everything, every city, and that I think makes it more interesting because people like to create their own stories. Alright, so since this is an actual Blender tutorial, not a George R.R. Martin seminar, all I'm saying is just go watch it. If you haven't started, you won't regret it. Alright, so next thing I want to do is add a pretty much the same windowsill type to here. Oh, nope. Oh no, you don't. Oh no, he didn't. Okay, so I'm going to add a cube, like I usually do. And maybe I should just leave this at no material for now. Maybe give this the test material. And this is all decorative pieces that you can do. It's optional. I just like doing it because, to be honest, in pretty much anything that you do in life, you gotta pay attention to the small things, because big things make huge impacts, but small things make the biggest difference. So, you should take that as a lesson in life in general. Pay attention to the small things, because, they are one of the most important things that make the biggest difference. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here. That's my psychology when it comes to modeling. So if you pay attention, if you add more slight details that you don't think that other people are going to notice, trust me, it's going to make a big difference to you. And when someone actually notices, it's going to be amazing. Like, god damn. Like, it's going to be mind-blowing for them, and it's going to bring you some personal satisfaction knowing that, there's something in there that only you or a small group of people know. So, yeah. I like adding details, not tiny little details that, are mine and nobody else's, so I can be greedy about them. Anyways, so, yeah, these is supposed to be one of those. But, maybe put it down here, and move one up, and put it up one here. Yeah, that looks good. Same thing here, around here, move you up here. Perfecto. Mia. Mamma Maria. I don't want to be an Italian stereotype, but I really like the way they speak. Alright, so we have the door, the windowsill, the windows, and everything. Alright, so I'm just gonna apply a test material to this. And voila, our house is looking, our cottage is looking sexy as F. So if you don't want, you can, if you don't want any extra geometry, you could just merge this with the house, or you could use a Boolean modifier to make them all, to mash them all into one geometry. What is that noise? But for me, I am just going to leave it as is. Alright, so the next thing that I want to do, and what I really consider fun, I don't know about you, but I consider weird stuff fun, is I want to add attach to the roof. So for that, I'm going to use the particle editor. Ding 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 ding. Whoever guessed that is a winner. Hold on, let me drink some water here. Fresh ambrosia. Okay, so now that I've gotten my picker upper, sorry about that, I'm going to add my attach roof. So for the attach, I'm going to use the particle editor, and I'm going to add here. So for that, I could do this individually, but that would be a lot of calculations for Blender, and a little bit too messy that I don't want. So what I'm going to do is add a plane. So you see this plane? See this adorable little plane? So this plane is going to act as can you guess? Can you guess what it's gonna act like? No? Nobody? Well, I can't hear what you're gonna say, but you know, you're probably right. It's gonna act as our surface of our hair. So our hair particles. So this is where our hair particles are going to sit. And this is where our hair particles are going to be emitted from, generally. So I am going to just, you know, maybe scale this up a little bit, rotate Y, and voila. And scale it up. There we go. And I'm just gonna go to the right view, select you, go back in, you, go back in, and voila. So these are going to be our hair particle emitters. So hair particles are gonna emit through the roof of our mesh into the top part of the roof to make it look like there is thatch there, which is, if you don't know, thatch is basically dried grass or wheat or something like that that they used to put on the roof of their houses so that snow doesn't melt through or water doesn't get in, or sometimes just, you know, additional protection against, you know, the elements. So yeah, so this is gonna be a small thatchy cottage resort haven, which is something a little sexy that can't believe I just said sexy. Something that is going to act gonna be pretty much attractive. Keep saying attractive. Okay, so something that's going to make our house look a lot more attractive in the end. So 180 degrees. So I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did to the roof before, which is pretty much duplicate and then move it to the other side and fix it like this. Awesome. There we go. So now we have two thatches. You know what? Yeah, let me just delete this one and let me just work on this side first. Alright, so for a roof, we are going to use a particle system. So I'm going to select the particle system. I'm going to select hair, and it's going to emit hair, as you can see, obviously, or really sharp spikes, or, you know, that thing in Mortal Kombat where, you know, they used to throw them and then they would get impaled by their asshole sometimes, and you would laugh your ass off when you were a kid. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking here, and we're gonna go to the advanced option, and let me select advanced, and I'm just gonna decrease the hair length until it's about this size, right? This would be good. Yeah, 0.4 would be good. So it's about 0.4 size, and I'm going to increase the number of emissions to, let's say, 8,000. Oh, looking good already. And then I'm going to select the distribution and change it to random. You know, I'll just leave it at jittered. No, particles per face ratio. Nope. Just gonna select the mid from faces. Oh, vertices be too small. Select for faces, and then I'm just gonna close the advanced options. I don't want to mess with anything else. Maybe the physics and then the Brownian value. Just a little bit. Increase the Brownian to 0.50. You don't have to do this, but I know. It just keeps it varied and intricate and interesting. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do to mess around with our attach here is either you can do it manually, which is go to the particle editor here and comb our little particles over here, hair particles over here. But what I'm just going to do is go to the children's tab. Should I make it interpolated? Yep, interpolated, and then I'm going to select the curl value. So basically now it's showing me all these dark spots are going to be our attach. These are gonna act as yeah, why couldn't it be simple? Nah, that'll be interpolated. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it interpolated. So pretty much this is what's going to be the roof, our little thatch that we wanted to create. And so right now we're seeing for every single hair strand there's 10 children particles, which are going to be rendered. But this is just a display module. So on the actual render, for every single strand, they're going to give us 100 more particles. So it's going to be more. What's the proper word for this? More tatchy, as I like to say. Okay. Maybe. No, this is. A good idea. Maybe bring it down, scale it down here. Alright, so now we have that. Maybe we apply the same thing, duplicate it, spin it 180 degrees, and then move it to this side. And now we have our roof composed with thatch and everything that we need. So I'm just going to apply a test material to it so we can clearly see what's going on, and it's not like this dark thing that's a mystery. So curl actually pretty much does what it says it will. It will pretty much curl what's going on, but if you don't want it, you can put it on radial, which makes it look like grass is sort of growing on, or maybe a braid or wave, so it kind of looks like a wind is blowing through. And also you can mess around with these options: the roughness, the endpoint, the length threshold. You can put it down so it's not very big or small, or put it to a value that's like you're more comfortable with. The sky's the limit with Blender. So you can create whatever that you want to create. So for me, maybe I'll just leave it at I like the radial value, but the wave value seems a little interesting to me as well. So many options. The curve's a little too interpolated. Braid, it's frizzy. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the radial value. I just like the way it looks. It's a personal option, you don't have to do it, but I'm going to use that option for me. So yeah. So once you have your selected options, oops, why is this not going? Select both of you. And hold on. This was meant to be the full size of our roof, so like that. Okay, perfect. Alright, awesome. So now that we have that, we have our God of edit mode. We have everything here. No particles. Just put a test material here for now, and give you a diffuse value. Just instead of giving a diffuse, just make it glossy. Select you. Hey, come on. New material. Do it gloss. Select preview to see what's going on. Go to glossy. increase the roughness. Should I do this? Maybe to the railing and shit, but yeah. I'm just gonna put everything to a diffuse material for now. Select everything. Deselect this, deselect here again. Control L, materials. So now everything is AF. What the hell? Hold on. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Go to Z. Select everything except you. Don't want you. And I don't want you. What is going on? Alright. Deselect this. Control materials. No? No, fuck it, I'll just do it individually. You. Not you. Oh. Sorry. Oh, so. And then Control L materials. There we go, finally. So everything's pretty much diffuse material, including this. And I'm just like putting it in a test material to see how it reacts with everything. And then I am going to pretty much add a surface so that stuff reacts with it. Oh, you know what? No. I'm going to delete this. Add a plane. No. Add a plane. Delete here. Add a plane. Scale it out. What am I doing? Go back. Subdivide. And then fractal. It's not an even surface. Go to front view. Select these edges. Object. Portion editing. And make sure that most of the edges near the house are. Okay. And I'm just adding a surface right here. I'm going to add a subdivision surface modifier to smoothen things out. Smooth. 2 subdivisions, apply. And then add a particle here. Point. 1 second. Length 0.1. 0.2. Oh, I forgot about the size. My bad. Okay, so one of the main things that you have to work around here is the thickness. So there's going to be like a spike thing going on here. 0.1. It's going to be too small. 0.1. There we go. This will be good. Alright, so let's go back to our what is going on here? Up and away. Up and away. So yeah, increase this to 10,000. Little spikes jutting out from the ground. No, fuck it. This is too much. Just for now, this is good. And I'm just gonna adjust the camera angle so it's yep. Just gonna give it a test render to see what it looks like and how I can improve it. Alright. And one. Okay, and maybe add a light source now. Where is the... What's going on with me today? It's probably the heat messing with my head. Okay, so I need to add a lamp. So let me get a spot out here. Let's add a sun lamp. Alright, I'm just gonna add a sun lamp. move it Y this direction, down a little bit, Y this direction. So I'm gonna shine a sun lamp at our focus point. So I want the focus point to be around the center of the house. So right around here. And then I'm going to, oops, I want it to be a light orange type of emission. And then I want to go back to rendered view. I select the GPU to compute the render and see what's up. So did I yeah, I fixed up the size, right? Yeah, okay. And I'm just gonna see the rendered view. Loading. Kernels may take a few hours. Ooh, that is a strong sun. So as we can see, we have our little house rendered here. And for now I'm just gonna delete this. And I want to add a world node, and I want to add a sky background. So add a sky texture, and then I'm going to make sure that the sky, like the light, is shown, but I want it to be transparent. So ray visibility, no, settings. Where's film? It's rendered film transparent. There we go. So that's the options. So I want the background to be transparent, and this is what you do to make the background transparent. As for our sun here, the intensity is like a little bit too much. Make it lighter. There we go. So maybe just a tad bit yellow. A tad bit, maybe down orange, dark orange. Nope, that's too much. A tad bit yellow, yellow orange. So right around here. Yeah, so I think this would be good. So, why isn't our hair particle showing? Did I go to edit mode? No, it's still in object mode. Is it already showing? Oh. Yes, it is. Apparently the radial isn't as big as I thought it would be. It just makes it look like a tiny bits of grass is growing on the roof, which is not really what I want. I want it to attach. Like spiral. No, not braid. Yeah, wave would be good for now. Yeah, let's just leave it a wave. Maybe curl. So many options. Yeah, I think curl will be the most consistent one for now. Alright, so we have that. We have our cottage. Okay, so for the basis of this tutorial, for the reasons of this tutorial, we are finished. We have made our little cottage, cabin. All that is left to do is add a little bit more details and the embroilments and the fence, and you can add a little bench here. Or you can, put furniture on the inside if you want to use this model as a, for game purposes or whatever you want. We're making this for. And you can add an environment here in the background. You can add grass, snow, leaves, sand, trees. You can use the sapling modifier for trees and generate, trees, and then, you can texture this and make it look however you want it to. But for the purposes of this tutorial, we are finished with making our little cabin in the wood. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you've watched everything in this tutorial from beginning to end, All that's left for me now is to render it, and I'll show you the results once it's finished. Alright, so once it's done rendering, it should look something like this. So if it doesn't look exactly like this, don't worry, you can tweak it, you can change the world settings, you can change the lighting, and you can make it to whatever that you want to. I just wanted to make the main focus of the whole render my little cabin over here. And I'm going to add more balconies and spaces, and I'm going to fix up the hair over here by going to the particle editor tab, or messing around with the hair values. It looks a little frizzy up here, but generally this looks good. So this is pretty much what we want our outcome to be. We can add more detail on later, but for the purpose of the tutorial, which is long enough already, I am going to end it. Alright, so thank you for watching. Like I said before, it would really help me out if you like, and if you have anything, critiques, comments, put it down in the description below. And if you would like to see more tutorials, tell me down below. And also, give a like to my Facebook page, and that's where I usually post stuff that I do in Blender first, and sometimes exclusives. So if you want to see that, you can go to my Facebook page. Also, if you're a huge Blender fan, go to the Blender group on Facebook and ask to join them, because they have over 30,000 members, and all of them are helping each other out and showcasing their work. So check that out as well. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Alright, bye bye.